once I kind of started getting into this work, I realized like, whoa, there's a lot that plays around in my mind that I'm not even aware of. Like I didn't even realize I was thinking certain things that were influencing like my entire state of being or influencing my self-worth or just what I thought I was capable of.
I used to say like just words or phrases to kind of like give that loop like a pattern interrupt and kind of like stop it in its tracks.
You hear people in the spiritual realm talking so much of like, oh, just sit and heal and think and meditate. And it's like, what do you do though? Welcome back to our second official episode of Seek and Surrender. I'm Rosalind. I'm joined with
Hey, nice to see you guys again.
We're back. It feels like kind of brushing off the cobwebs because we were so ahead of the game and got our first 2 episodes done so soon that like I'm like, how do we do this again?
Is this not the third one?
This is the third one, but I almost don't count the first one because it was like more of an intro. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is the third. But how are you?
I'm doing well. Feeling good. Excited about this topic to dive in.
I know, me too. It's like one of my favorite things. But yeah, before we jump into today's topic, we wanted to do like a little check-in to kind of see our takeaways from last month after we talked about manifesting. And we hope that you all kind of took some of that and, you know, applied it to your own life. And please let us know in the comments or on our Instagram and just how you've explored manifestation after we kind of talked through some practical ways to play with it. But Kayla, how for the last month did you see some of those takeaways in your life play out?
Yeah. So, just making room for things was a big thing for me. And I definitely manifested a lot just by making room, like even like, cutting out certain tasks I'm doing like for work. Some things I didn't want to do, so I just stopped doing or outsourced. And like that created a lot more opportunity for more fun things. So that was really cool. It's been awesome. A fun experience.
Yeah. And what I like, I like being, especially with like creative projects, it's so hard for me to like hand over something. So like the trust of being like, you know what, I can outsource this and somebody will get it done.
Usually it's the things that I don't find so fun that I like to outsource. So yeah, but I get it.
Yeah. I played with, so my takeaway, I had to rewatch the end of it to remind myself what it was. But my takeaway last time was using the mantra of like, yes, I can, coupled with taking some of Kayla's tactics of clearing space. And I physically cleared space. I like cleaned out closet just to like, there's so much energy when you walk into a room. And so I feel like the rooms where I felt like I had like maybe like a to-do list of things that I'd been like putting off, that like weight sits on you. You walk in and you're like, I still got to do that thing. So I kind of ticked off the list a little bit and like organized a few things and cleared out some things. And it felt lighter. Like it felt good. It felt nice. And I think a lot of the things that I was trying to manifest were mostly like my internal state. But I was able to see how like my external state was affecting that. And so it was like using both, like to clear out maybe habits of the mind, but as well as things in the physical space that I live in. And that like, it was so neat. And then the mantra that I was using was really, really great. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah. So thanks for all of your tips.
Yeah, of course. Thank you too.
Yeah, it was great. But today we wanted to slide into something that fits so well when we were talking about manifestation is the power of word. So mantra, word, and really getting into the meat of how powerful word is and how effective word is. where does word originate and what influences that. So yeah, I guess we'll just jump right in if you don't have any other little notes or updates.
Yeah, I actually have a question before you get started, or maybe it's
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
your what you're going to say, but like I know that's a big part of your practice, mantra, but like how did that even come about for you? Like how did you get into that?
So I have a very overactive mind, and I have, um, I guess you could say, loops of like negative self talk
Hmm.
that goes around. And sometimes it's, especially before I started doing any of this work, it was very subconscious. Like I didn't even realize I was thinking certain things that were influencing like my entire state of being or influencing my self worth or just what I thought I was capable of. And so once I kind of started getting into this work, I realized like, whoa, there's a lot that plays around in my mind that I'm not even aware of, which in one way is kind of like, wow, how fascinating that the human brain does that. And then in the other way, I was like, oh my God, like this is a lot to work through. Like this is a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so in the harder parts of trying to heal certain things, I realized that mantra was in a way an outlet to set intention while also completely surrendering. So it was like, I know that I have this mental loop or something isn't sitting right and my natural state of mind is not helping. I don't know how to fix it. And I got to those points so many times where I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to make this better. You always hear people saying like, "Oh, sit with yourself. Oh, like just heal it, blah blah blah." And I'm like, that's nothing practical for me. Like, which is part of why like for this podcast, I'm like I always want to make sure we leave something practical for people
Mhm.
because it you hear people in the spiritual realm talking so much of like, oh, just sit and heal and
Yeah,
think and
it's kind of
meditate. And
abstract.
it's like, what do you do though?
Hmm.
So I turned to mantra and I thought, you know what, if I set an intention, and a lot of times, and I can talk more about this later, but mantra started coming to me in just guided meditations that I was doing because it was hard for me to just sit in silence at first because I didn't know where to lead my thoughts. I didn't know what to do. So mantra would start coming and I would start writing them down. And then I realized, oh, the intention behind this phrase is exactly what I'm trying to build up more within my like natural state. And so it was a way of saying, okay, spirit, universe, like, I don't know how to heal this, but here's my intention. And just in the effort of speaking the words or just thinking them in meditation, it was like I could let go of the force of trying to act and do something and heal it, like with something practical, I guess you could say. So that's how it came about for me. It was very much just like a how do I surrender into trying to heal these parts of myself that I don't have any other knowledge or way of doing it. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
that's really cool. Have you noticed
Yeah.
that like those kind of negative loops have kind of gone away or replaced with like kind of more positive loops?
I have, like, in some cases, yes. In like the deeper set stuff that I'm now realizing is like been around for years and years and years, I can at least recognize it. And now I'm like, oh, I've got tools. Like, I don't need to get hung up, like beating myself up of like, this is back. Like, I just had a, you know, bad day because I let this thing like loop around in my head. And it's
Mhm.
like, no, I see it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, let me surrender into this and use my tools to help. And it just kind of takes the weight off a little.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have you ever used mantra, or is it more kind of like a every once in a while thing?
Kind of an every once in a while thing. I do use it. I like to use it for manifestation. Like I like to say things in threes. I feel like three is a super
Hmm.
powerful number. So like when I want to like kind of solidify something, I'll say it three times. Or I like to end things in "so be it." It's
Mm.
kind of similar to "amen." Um, but I did experience something similar to what you're saying with like that negative self-conscious loop. And I used to say like just words or phrases to kind of like give that loop like a pattern interrupt and kind of like
Mm.
stop it in its tracks. So I don't know if that's kind of a mantra, but it is like a power of a word or of an intention.
Yeah.
So I'll use it in that way.
Yeah. That reminds me too of what we kind of talked about last time in terms of like gratitude.
Yeah.
Like gratitude can be your mantra as well. If there's like
Hmm.
something you're grateful for, then you can kind of use that to reloop the brain.
Hmm. Yeah. Or change perspective for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Filling it with like you're definitely able to kind of like alchemize and change the frequency of what's in your restful mind state in a way. And
Hmm.
that's pretty awesome just with the power of word.
Yeah. And that changes everything around you too in your
Oh
environment.
my gosh, totally. Everything. It's
Hmm.
amazing. It's like, what a relief that I
Yeah.
can change this habit. Yeah, for sure. So we'll jump right in. As we said, like word and mantra is such a great tool when you're trying to manifest. But also just in the day to day, like we were saying, your natural state of mind is so heavily influenced by word. For anybody that's familiar with Reiki, as we know, like a lot of people listening might be, the founder of Reiki, Mikao Usui, recognized how powerful word was and created one of the largest parts of Reiki, which is the Reiki precepts. And what we often get taught when we're learning the Reiki 1, actually, I think,
Hmm.
is about Kododama. So, word spirit is how that translates. And it's all about how the power of word can, again, like we were already saying, just impact the whole mind, body, spirit of a person. And the Reiki precepts, I don't know if we want to like walk through all of them or just like a couple, but just to kind of like
Yeah. I can do a
give
few.
examples.
Yeah, for sure.
So they start with, so obviously traditionally it was in Japanese. And as Reiki practices came to the West, we now say them in English. But when you learn both, I think it's really neat to play with saying them both in Japanese and in English, just because the frequency, it's like the original nature of the word was in Japanese. And so it's kind of like it holds this different vibration than when you're saying it in English. But again, it's all about, intention. You don't have to say it in Japanese. But the first is Kyodakewa, which is just for today. And what I love is like we could spend like an entire episode on one phrase because there's so much in it.
Hmm.
But in just for today, it's all about the present moment. It's all about recognizing that we live in the here and now. We don't live in the past. We don't live in the future. And all that we can influence or shift with is exactly in this present moment. It also, like we were kind of saying, takes the weight off of all of the living in the future, worrying. Your worry goes away when you're just in the present, like all of that. But yeah, so just for today, does that land with you in any
Oh
special
yeah,
way?
for sure. I feel like with conflict and problems in your life, like it helps you kind of break things down and make it into like smaller parts. So you're not looking at that big, huge thing all at once because that's kind of overwhelming. But if you're
Hmm.
just taking it one day at a time, and it's like, okay, just for today, I'm going to be positive. Just for today, I'm not going to be stressed. Just for today, I'm going to focus on a small solution or something that I can do or what you are in control of, versus worried about what you're not in control of. So that's helped me a ton when it comes to like conflict and
Yeah,
problem solving.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
And then the second is, so we start with just for today, do not be angry. I think when we think of this phrase, we think of it literally, obviously. But I think also it kind of encompasses all negative emotion in a way. It's like don't give energy to the anger.
Mm.
Don't let that frequency sit with you. And then in the same way, it's like anything else related to that. It's like don't even allow the part of your body, mind, essence to sit within that to enhance that or make it bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do not
Yeah.
anger.
I feel like when you feed into that emotion, it kind of builds momentum.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to get the day back if you've put too much momentum into that frequency.
Yeah,
So just to not even let it bother you in the first place is a good place to start.
yeah, yeah. And the next is do not worry. And again, kind of the same with anger, but it's just calling your attention to the things that are out of your control. So you know that you're only able to control what you are in this in your field,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing else that you can do. So it's like don't allow the mind to go places that elicit that worry, nervousness, anxiousness, when all you can do is control what's here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next is, so it's just for today. I will not be angry. I will not worry. I will be grateful. So gratitude, like we've already noted in everything that we talk about,
Mm-hmm.
is so powerful. And it's kind of like Mikao Usui was saying, like, okay, just for today, here are my instructions for you. Don't be angry. Don't be worried. And how do you do it? Be grateful. Like
Mm-hmm.
take gratitude and use that as your tool for letting go of what you can't control, letting go of the negative emotions, letting go of the things that make you angry or upset. And it's just of what we've been talking about. When you turn your mind to gratitude, it's so powerful and everything kind of falls away from that.
Yeah. I feel like the mind is such a powerful tool, and it's also like easily manipulated, but you could do it in a good way. Like when you're grateful, it's super difficult to think about anything negative or be angry. So it's like kind of tricking your mind into just staying in that space and being present. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool tool.
Yeah. We can trick our minds.
Mm-hmm.
The next part is to be diligent in your practice. So I guess kind of the next set of instruction is to not be those things. We're grateful, but we're also diligent in the things that we know that we need to do to be in the best state of being. So whether that's your meditation practice, your Reiki practice, or just the things that you do day to day that make you feel like you're in your best state. I mean, it could be exercise, it could be eating well. It's just being diligent
Mm-hmm.
and the things that you know
Yeah,
create your best.
I think that goes hand in hand too with mantra, because like if you do have a mantra and you're only saying it like once a week or once a month, it's not going to have as much effect or momentum as if you're saying it every morning or every night.
Mm-hmm.
So being diligent in just what you want or for your intention.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because we know, like I think we talked about this on the previous episodes. Like it shouldn't be hard to change your state. Like it
Right.
shouldn't be some forceful effort, but it does take work, and it
Mm-hmm.
takes coming back to the things that you're trying to do to change everything. So, and then the last line is basically be kind to yourself and all other living beings. So, you know, not taking everything so seriously is how I like to view it. It's
Yeah.
like be kind to myself. Okay, like chill out. It's fine. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
going to figure it out. If you have a bad day, don't worry about it. Like tomorrow's a new opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just the kindness of Reiki, because so many people like to explain that like Reiki and life force energy is just this vibration of love, and it really is. And so when you sit with the kindness, it kind of just exudes into everything and everyone around you.
Yeah, I feel like when you give yourself that grace too, it's way easier to give it to other people. So,
Hmm.
like even what you're thinking about and telling yourself. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we just wanted to bring it back to the lovely Reiki practice and the beautiful use of Kodadama word spirit within power of word. So, to move forward, let's see here. So, yeah, so just bringing it back. So, I had mentioned at the beginning how impactful word and mantra is for me. And I kind of mentioned earlier, like it became such a tool for me when I didn't know what else to do because I love the Reiki practice, but sometimes if I've worked myself up into a state of like, I can't sit, like I can't just sit and, meditate, do some self Reiki, like walk through the symbols. Like I can't just sit there. Mantra has been a beautiful way for me to take that somewhere else because to me it's like I don't need to just sit and think the words, like I could be doing anything and
Mhm.
just be running through it. So what I like to do is going on a walk out in nature, not being on my phone, not being by the computer, not being, wherever the energy is off. And as I walk, I just run through the mantra just over and over gently. And it just, because your body's moving, it's like
Yeah.
you're almost like letting the words sink into like every part of you.
Hmm.
And then for me, being out in nature is like I call upon Mother Earth and I'm like, take my steps, take
Hmm.
my everything, like take any imbalanced energy, let it flow into the earth. Like as I'm saying this mantra with this intention of healing or recentering or letting go, whatever it is.
What is the mantra that you say? Like an example of one.
Yeah. So one of the most recent ones, and I recorded a meditation with this mantra
Oh, cool.
because I find it so, so, so powerful. But in the description, I'll have a link and there's a page on my website and there'll be like a little password to access it. So I'll give that all and we'll put it in there. But it is spacious heart, spacious mind. I surrender to the flow.
Mm,
I trust, hope, and heal in divine timing. I let go.
it's
So
good.
it's just this way of there's and a lot of spiritual work, the connection between heart and mind is like a huge part of kind of reaching that balanced state. And so what I realized whenever I felt off was I would always have this like constricted feeling in my chest. I was
Hmm.
like, this isn't how this should feel. Like
Right.
if I'm truly in my heart space, I should feel expansive, you
Right.
know? So spacious heart is just this way of saying like, okay, open up, let's go. Like let everything else out. Let's be
Hmm.
spacious. Same thing with mind, like we were talking about earlier, like how the mind has those subconscious loops. It was like, okay, spacious mind. Everything else can just get out of the way. Let's let let's let it breathe, you know?
Hmm.
And then I surrender to the flow is like an obvious of just surrendering to the moment, surrendering to the walking, surrendering to spirit. And then I trust, hope, and heal, and divine timing was just this other way to elicit that sense of, I guess, setting the mind right. Stop
Hmm.
trying to be in control. Stop trying to feel like you have to make the effort for the next thing to happen. And then the last phrase, I let go. Again, just another reminder of how the state should be. So,
That's
yeah.
powerful. Is that something that you came up with like in meditation or?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but I think it came to me in two parts. So like the first section and the second section, and then I kind of just melded them together.
Really cool.
But I think, yeah, I think it came up in meditation. I think so.
It's
I
good
can't
stuff.
remember. It's been around for a while. I've been
Yeah,
using it a lot.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I recorded a meditation and I've had some testers with it and they said it was really nice. So, I'm going to put it out there so people can use it and see how it kind of sits with you. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Has there been any mantras you've used that you found have been really helpful?
I will be honest. So lately I've been dealing with kind of a tough situation and I had this thing that I noticed I kept saying or asking myself, and I was like, you know what, this is not really positive. So I kind of reframed it and turned it into something positive. But what I was saying in my head was, I kept asking myself, like, is this real life? You know, like every so often I would ask that. I'm like, is this real life?
Yeah.
And like there was one morning when I woke up and I just stopped asking that question. I just kind of had to like live with the reality. And
Mm,
I started kind of trying to encourage myself, like, okay, I can do this. Like, I was born to be able to do this. All the work I've done leading up to this has prepared me. I'm prepared. I can do this, you know? So just like sometimes you'll catch yourself having like a negative mantra or a not so useful one. So I just kind of reframed it
mm.
and that's been working a ton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's powerful just to like,
Yeah.
I mean, we can do and create any opportunity that we want.
Mm-hmm.
But the stories of everything, and then when you start to feel the negative emotions, it's like your brain's like, oh, we can't do it. If that thing's coming up, if this makes me feel uncomfortable, that must
Right.
be a sign. Like, but it's not true. It's
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking about Hermetic principles with
Oh,
Yolanda
fun.
in the alchemy circle. And the first principle of that is all is mind. And so I've been constantly thinking about that lately too, because it's like you create your entire reality. Like
Yeah.
it's all in the brain. And the crazy part of this, and there was something that I think she said was like, if you look at anything in your room, anything around you, it was created from the mind of someone. Like
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have a laptop, you wouldn't
Yeah.
have a phone, like you wouldn't have, you know, a table, a desk, like
Right.
everything came from the mind of someone. And I was just like, I'm blown away. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's so true.
Yeah.
The mind is just so powerful. And yeah, that could take me on a whole other tangent, but I will
Yeah. I
refrain.
think it's important too to like just be more aware of what's going on in there and in your
Mhm.
subconscious and what you're putting in there, like the music that you listen to, the content you consume, the shows you
Mhm.
watch. You know, there's so much we consume that we should be paying more attention to because it
Yeah.
does affect, you know, your energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I when I think about like the heart mind connection in terms of the power of word and
Mm-hmm.
mantra, and I think about like where does thought originate? Does it originate from, and I don't know if I have the answer to this, so I'm just totally spitballing here. We know that emotions influence the mind. We
Mm-hmm.
know that a feeling may influence a train of thought. If you feel so joyful, then you might be thinking, oh my gosh, look at all this opportunity. Oh my gosh, this person has just made me feel so amazing. And then the loops go from there. But it's like it can be the same in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, I think our analytical mind is very good at just creating thought on its own as well. Like we've been talking about, like you've got the subconscious and the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is always thinking. I mean, everything that you're taking in through your eyes, your brain is processing, calculating, and you're creating your next move, your next decision, your next breath based off of what your input is into the brain processor.
Mm-hmm.
And so then thoughts are created there too. So it's like just thinking about how complex the human system is, that thought and word come from every small, tiny thing around us that we have started to like glaze over. It's kind of like advertising. Like you drive down the highway and it's like every billboard you see, you don't even see anymore because you've seen it enough.
Yeah.
But it's still there. Like you're
Hmm.
still seeing it.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible how if you do try to become a little bit more aware of what's around you and what you're taking in, like you were saying, it's like that shifts everything because
Hmm.
your state of being, the frequency of that or the vibration of that has been altered by what that is. And so then your natural process of thought, whether it come from feelings or your subconscious or conscious mind, is totally being influenced. And I think, I don't know where the saying comes from, and I don't know if I remember it exactly, and it's very beautiful, but I don't know if I'll remember it exactly. But it's like something like we're creating in every second of what we do,
Hmm.
basically, whether you're conscious of it or not. So don't you want to be creating the
Hmm.
words, the influences, the vibrations that are more towards what you actually want, more higher frequency, more healing, less pain, all of that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah, fascinating,
It is
fascinating.
fascinating.
Yeah. How, like anything, I just babbled. I realized I just babbled for a very long time.
No, you're good. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think it's about becoming more aware of the subconscious. So like not being so much on autopilot because that's easy to do too.
Hmm.
And just be aware of what those tracks are, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, an autopilot can kind of be a safety mechanism too.
Yeah,
Like
true.
your brain is used to a certain way that you think.
Hmm.
And I think what has come up a lot for me is like how important and maybe above all other word and talk and communication, self-talk is
Hmm.
like the start of it. So it's
Yeah.
like self-talk. How are you talking to yourself? The voice in your head that's
Hmm.
narrating your day, your life, your thoughts. And I know there's that whole like something went around online, I don't know, in like the last year or something that was like some people don't have like the inner monologue or
Yeah,
something.
like
And it
they
was
don't
like
hear
this
their
whole
voice.
debate.
So
Yeah, they
weird.
like don't have the voice in their head or something.
Hmm.
Like when they think about it, it's just silence. And I'm like, is that real?
Yeah, that's crazy to
I
think
don't
about.
live that way.
But you hear it, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it in your voice?
Um
I
I
think it'd
don't
be kind of
know.
creepy if it wasn't, right? Like, or is it just, yeah, I never thought about that because
I
you
would
don't really
assume
hear
it's
it,
in
but
my voice. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that. I
Mhm.
have to be like, oh gosh, is that me? Who's talking in here?
Right. In an accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it more interesting. Um, yes. So let's see. So yeah. So I think we've hit a lot of the main points of how powerful word is. I
Hmm.
think just what I hope that someone might take away is the acknowledgement of how powerful your own word is within your field,
Hmm.
whether that's thought word, whether that's written word, spoken word, like we were just saying, whether that's something that's coming to you from external sources. The power of word is just endless. And not that it needs to be something that you worry about or that you kind of become over observant of, but just taking the time to acknowledge what's around you, what you're thinking, and being gentle with yourself in the sense of, hey, I know that I can change this. And if
Hmm.
this is something that leaves me in a state that I don't like, let me take the time to try and adjust that.
Hmm.
I think that that's really, really powerful. I did have here in my notes something I definitely want to bring up. There was a Japanese researcher who did a scientific study, and it's been criticized. So take this with a grain of salt, how you
Hmm.
feel with it. But his name is Masaru Emoto, and he was a researcher who was exploring human consciousness, emotions, words, and how that could affect the structure of water molecules. So, what he would do is he would have samples of water and he would either write a word or phrase and put it on the bottle or like the glass of whatever was holding the water, or he would speak to it in a certain way. So whether that would be with love and gratitude or hate and anger, and then he would freeze the molecules and look at them under a microscope. And what he saw was the structures of the frozen molecules with the batch that was more positively spoken to or written on were like beautiful crystalline, you know, designs, and everything looked ordered and beautiful. But the ones that were spoken to in love and hate and all of that were distorted and not like the normal natural form of how the water molecule would be structured, which is just like fascinating. So fascinating. And I don't know the study of like when, but there's people that have like done that on plants and seen like how they grow or react and all of that too. So he wrote a book about it though. So if y'all are interested, it's called The Hidden Messages in Water. But yeah, just fascinating. I mean,
Very
proof
fascinating.
of all of that.
And yet people still drink death water.
Death water.
I
Yeah.
refuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think too, what was it? There was like what was it? Oh, well, it'll come back to me. But yeah, I just think it's so powerful. It's so cool that there's a way that we can really test that. And I think too, in our Reiki class, I'm actually just remembering, we had our bottles of water and we were
Oh yeah,
doing,
that's right.
we were tasting it and like sensing how it felt like in the mouth
Mhm.
before putting Reiki, or were we doing some, I think we are doing a symbol. So yeah, word, Kodadama. We were doing
Mhm.
Kodadama on the bottle of water and you could taste and feel like the difference in the water. And that was like,
Yeah, it's
what?
very interesting. I'm gonna start
Just
doing
with the
that to my
power,
coffee in the morning.
right? Make this coffee magical. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's just so cool. I think there's so much that folks can play around with in terms of like how you use word. So yeah, I totally invite y'all to do that. Mention in the comments, tell us on Instagram how you're playing with the power of word
Mhm.
throughout your day. So yeah, in terms of our next bit, we wanted to do another card pull. So I have 3 cards here. I will hold them up. We have our 3. So like we encouraged last time, you know, if you're looking or listening, we have 1, 2 in the middle and 3 on the side. So just take a few breaths and kind of just see what card you might be drawn to. So we'll start with card number 1. And this is mind and emotion. So I'm sure Kayla in all of her video magic will put it on screen, but I will hold it up for a second too. So mind and emotion, for anybody that's not watching, it's this woman. She has this incredible tentacles of her hair coming off. And she is in this like rush of water. We see fish around her. And she is holding like this golden orb in one hand and she's holding a book in the other. And so the reason that I felt drawn to pulling this card for this episode was kind of what we talked about, how where does word originate, mind and emotion, and just recognizing that your intuition kind of represented by the water in a way, your emotions support your entire being. And so being more maybe in the sense of acknowledging and being aware of when things come up for you and certain thoughts come or certain words come out of your mouth, really just taking the time to pay attention to what that might be. Is that really the frequency that you want to be resonating at? Is that really the word that you want to be coming from you? And I think too, it's just neat to see her with her book, whether that's something that she's learning or written. It's this opportunity for practicing written word is super powerful. So if you pick this card, maybe it's also telling you take some time to do some writing or some reading that might shift your perspective or something like that. How does that sit with you?
Yeah, I agree. It also reminds me of what you said about the heart and the mind, like when they are connected and you feel this openness and vastness. That's kind of like the description, like here in the photograph, like everything looks so abundant and rich and open.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when those two are connected in harmony, like that's what kind of happens
Yeah.
as a result. Uh, it's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for sure. So mind and emotion, card number 1. It's also the number 3 card.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, card number 2. This was a fun one. So this is the challenge card. Um, you know, my it's hard to like show up on screen, but again, Kayla will work her magic. Um, so in this one, we see this man. He's balancing in this kind of lotus position on one foot, in this kind of Zen state. He's kind of at the base of a tree, and in the tree branches, we see these coins, golden coins, kind of hanging from the tree, kind of looking like opportunity.
I thought those
And
were
next to
oranges.
him, are they oranges?
Oh, they look like coins for sure.
Okay, I think they're coins. Next to him is this little squawking, well, not little, it's actually quite huge compared to him, but this squawking bird kind of with its mouth open next to him, and it has a little worm kind of at its mouth or nose. And yeah, he seems very intrusive to the Zen state of the man. But I've always kind of seen this card as trying to keep your peace when the noise of like the external and the outside world is kind of bearing down on you. So I thought this was powerful as we were talking about the power of word in terms of protecting yourself. We do need boundaries, and that's something that you can work on for yourself, whether within meditation where you're visualizing your boundaries for your energy, or whether that's just who you're around or what you're taking in, like we were talking about earlier. This idea of keeping peace in the noise, I think, is really powerful. And just being conscious of how word is affecting you. How is that for you?
Yeah, I feel like we have different perspectives on the imagery, which I think is beautiful because you could
Mm-hmm.
get, different things from one picture, but it still is true. Um, but for me, the bird, it's like, yeah, he does look a little obnoxious, but he's also like offering a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, the solution's right in front of your face or right above you with all those coins. Um, yeah, and the roots like grounding into the present.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really
Yeah.
cool card.
Yeah. I think you said earlier too, the worm could be the help, the
Mm-hmm.
solution, even
Right.
though it's a nasty little worm. So that's challenge. That's also number 27. So on to card number 3. The most, I guess, obvious card from the deck that we could have picked is communication, number 19. So we see in this card this very reflective image. We have birds, and it's all kind of if you were to like draw a line down the middle, it's like both sides kind of reflect each other equally. So we have birds flying away at the bottom. We have birds looking at each other at the top. And then above all of that, above some branches, is this kind of web above these 2 purple feathers in this kind of like dark section at the top. And there's a chrysalis up there as well. So, in terms of communication, I think with the reflective nature of this imagery, I'm always thinking about how what you're saying outward is going to come back to you. So, it's like, what are you thinking, writing, saying that's reflecting back into your world? So, just being conscious of how that might be working in your field. And in terms of the web up above, to me, this is always read as like the mind space where communication originates, and the web that our mind weaves for us. So yeah, so I guess if you've pulled this, if you've picked this card, maybe just sitting with communication and seeing how as you communicate or write or interact with the outside world, how does it come back to you? And where does that come from within yourself? And are you okay with that or not?
Mhm. Yeah,
What do you read from that?
that was well said. I agree with a lot of it. It's definitely like you said, like a mirror. So like whatever energy or an intention that you're feeding, putting energy into is definitely like coming right back to you. Um, and it's kind of like how communication works anyway, like give and receive, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
what energy are you giving and receiving? So,
Yeah.
mhm.
So, yeah, those are our cards for today. Again, card number 1, mind and emotion. Card number 2, challenge. And card number 3, communication. And just taking what resonates with you from that and let us know. Let us know how word and all of this is kind of playing into your day to day. So, all of that to say, again, I feel like I could talk about word and mantra for a very long time. Because it's also become something that like I'm so grateful for the power of word and recognizing that like I'm in control of it. It's not something happening to me. I'm not the victim of my thoughts. Like I have the power that all is mine to change how word is representing in my life. And I feel so grateful for that acknowledgement because that's like total power in a positive way, not like in a
Mhm.
controlling way, but that's like, oh my gosh, like that gives you this feeling of like, yeah, okay, I can take the reins. I can adjust how my thoughts, my words are affecting. So yeah, any last thoughts
I think
on your end?
everything you just said there reminds me of the term I am.
Mm,
And that phrase kind of does give you, it's very empowering, because you are everything and everything is you.
mm-hmm,
I also challenge whoever's listening to be just aware of your thoughts and how you're speaking to yourself. Like, literally just the things that you speak out loud to. Like when you say you can't do something or you're not tech savvy or you didn't study this, it's like, just reframe it in a more self-empowering way. Like, oh, I don't know this yet, or I'm not very studied in this, but I will learn or I can learn,
mm-hmm.
Um, so just like not writing yourself off and giving yourself a chance to. And
Yeah,
soon it will kind of change and it'll just become habit.
yeah, yeah. But you might as well start
Mhm.
and try.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my takeaway that I think I'm going to continue to use, which is of no surprise, is just more mantra. And I hope maybe by next month I will come back and report maybe something new that I'll share that'll be helpful for folks as well. But yeah, just mantra. So I challenge anybody to do something like that too. Like if there's something that comes to mind, kind of like Kayla's example of what she was going through, like it doesn't have to be this poetic, wonderful, beautiful thing, long, whatever. Like it can be, I am. It can be, yes, I can. It can be, you know, what came to my head just now was so what? But
Mm.
I'm not kind of surprised by that. But I'm like, yeah, I
That's a
guess
good
so.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
so what? Like, if
Right.
you want to let go of how something's coming and affecting you. So, yeah, so what? I don't know. Whatever you
Mhm.
want. It can be simple and just let it sit with you and let the power of that word just influence the way that your life is kind of going day to day. What about you? What takeaway do you think? I guess that was kind of what you explained,
Yeah,
anyways.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not limiting yourself with your
Mm-hmm.
words, whether that's in your mind, but especially out loud, like the stories that you tell about yourself, like really pay attention to what those are and what they sound like. And how could you reframe even just one word um,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of make that more positive for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, we are so glad that we could come back for another episode, and we're so thankful for y'all to be listening and watching. And be sure to subscribe to Awakening Airwaves on any podcast platform, on YouTube, find us on Instagram. And of course, you can follow Kayla and myself as well. But yeah, until next time, we will see you later.
Thanks. Yeah.
Bye.